Good morning, friends. Happy Thursday. Today we're going to be talking through a couple of things. It shouldn't take too long. I am going to have you look at a plot map of holes, and we're going to kind of talk about that. And then I'm actually going to have you answer a question, just one bigger question for me today, and then work on your research project. But for right now, I have behind me my apartment, but also this is our poster. I've uploaded a copy of that to Schoology right over here. So that's what we're going to be looking at. But I have a big copy. I don't know. There it is. It was like there would be too much to write on like a tiny piece of paper, you know? But yeah, so just take a second. Let's look at this plot map here. This is located in your Schoology. So things have changed a lot over the last probably honestly 5 chapters. Things have really opened up. So our timeline with Sam and Catherine has really altered our story, right? So if we look here, okay, we have our story of Stanley in the orange. Okay, we have Caveman, and we have Stanley's at Green Lake, and it's in the modern time. And then here we have our tiny story about how Ellie is falling for Myra, and he met with Madame Zeroni and the pig and all that. And then down here, and it's really small. I might upload a better picture once the light is better, but in my apartment, the light's not very good, so it's hard to take a picture. But Sam helps Miss Catherine, and then we see that they kiss, and then Trout Walker kills him, kills Sam, which is really, really sad. And Miss Catherine reacts a certain way, right? She becomes Kissing Kate Barlow, and all of a sudden there's all these connections that are sort of making sense, right? Stanley's great great grandfather has lost his treasure to Kissing Kate Barlow and bad luck, and all of a sudden that tiny lipstick tube with KB on it makes all the sense, right? So our story, this is the moment where things are sort of starting to go, whoop, this makes sense. And if you'll notice, I didn't finish out either of these plot maps, right? So they're not climaxing yet. Same thing here. Oops, sorry, that's my alarm. But those things, they aren't like climaxing yet. They haven't hit that moment where you're like, oh, what's going to happen? Like, Kiss and Kate's story just kind of ends. And so there's not really a falling action necessarily. There's sort of a climax, but not really a falling action. Yeah, so that's really interesting. One of my favorite things about holes is the way that the plots are sort of stacking on top of each other. And it's not like they're three separate stories, right? All of these things are necessary for the story to make sense. It just is that they take a while to kind of weave in. And so on that note, I'm going to take you back to today's question. For holes, there's just one big question today. You're going to use race to answer it. If you don't remember race, that's restate, answer, cite your evidence, so tell where you got it in the story, and then explain. So our question today is, it's going to take a second to load. There are many clues in holes that help you make connections between different parts of a story. Details that seem minor at first become central to your understanding of how separate scenes tie together. Names, physical descriptions, and objects reveal connections between the present and the past. As you read about the town of Green Lake 110 years ago, look for details that link history, I'll make sure that's spelled right, to the present events and the characters at Green Lake. What are some of the details and holes that connect the past to the present? Give 2 examples and use race. Okay? So be thinking, what are some objects that appear in both storylines? What are some names that maybe appear in both storyline, or characters who appear in both storylines, or even places that appear in both storylines? And make sure that you talk about how are they connected? How are they connected? And tell me where you found that information. So that's kind of our big thing for today. The other thing that you're going to be working on is your continue working on your research project. You wrote your thesis statement. Today you're going to be kind of adding in some details. Okay. Um, yeah, that's it. I know you can do it. I'm really proud of you guys. I miss you a lot. I'm going to make myself bigger so I can say that and you can believe me. Um, I miss you. I care about you. I can't wait to see you again next school year, I believe. And yeah, happy Thursday. Bye, guys.